Hey guys, this is Alex. I have for you today a review of the Southord PXD15, a Dimple pick set. Let me get this out of the way and zoom out just a bit so you can see the whole lot here. So this, I believe, is all of the parts. This is actually my second one of these, partly because I broke some of the tips, which is not any kind of bad mark against Southord because I break everything, and also because I've modified a lot of mine, so I wanted to show you the whole lot. So the core of this set is this little handle, which is made out of brass and something, and it has in it a little collet here, a little brass collet. You see that? Yeah. And a little cap for the collet, and that screws on there. And what you do is you grab one of these inserts, and there are what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 or 10 of them. You insert that in here as far as it'll go, and then tighten up the little screw, and that holds it in there. And then you have a pick. I will note that if you twist this a little too hard, it will sometimes loosen itself. That probably means you're applying too much pressure on the pick, or you just need to tighten this up a little bit. But I've been having a lot of problems with that. Okay, I've got another one lying around that I've been using for months. Okay, so that's the core. So you get all these different blades. This blade is the only one that is sort of ambidextrous. It's flat on both sides. It's about 20 thousandths of an inch, or comes down a little bit to a little bit more of a tape, a little bit thinner. It's really good for getting in under low pins, and it's nice because you can use it on either side of the lock without having to switch around. From the left side, get something to point with. We have basically 4 flags that face, or 3 flags that face from the left or face to the right. So you would put those put those in to get the pins that were to the right of the flag here. There are 2 curved ones here, which oddly, they're both curved in the same direction, so you're pretty much stuck coming from the left again. This one, yeah, I don't know how well you can see, but the flag is sort of centered on the post. So you could sort of use that from either side, and that kind of works. And then there's 2 that come in from the right. So the pins would be on the left. You'd come up this way, right? Don't know why there's that particular selection. What I typically do is, what I've done with the other ones is file these down to make so that this part here doesn't, the little shaft part doesn't stick up as much. There we go. So this thickness is about 0.040, and then the little flag itself is about 1/2 mil, or something on the order of 0.020 inches. Okay. But so you can see that basically you've got a flat piece of metal, and then they've milled or ground down the end a little bit. You'll notice that all of the corners are relatively sharp, and they have polished this some. There's not a lot of milling. Actually, there's no milling marks really, so they've at least put it in some kind of a polisher. If you look at it end on, you can see that everything is flat. I like to sand or file a little bevel. In this case, I would file it this way, and this way, and this way, so that there's sort of like a little bit of a knife edge facing towards where you're going to want to get in under the pins. Just makes it a little bit easier. You don't have to wiggle around as much. And I sometimes will take a little bit off of this to round the corners over so it turns more easily. But these actually do work out of the box reasonably well. I get 2 other picks Now this one is obviously a curved one that comes in from the right, so maybe that complements the these other two. It does not have the little tang for the handle. It has its own little handle, so maybe you put that in your pocket. But if you look at it, it's pretty huge. If you look at the size of it compared to the other ones, it's taller. It's kind of hard, probably a little hard to see, but it's thicker, it's fatter, it's wider, and there's not really a lot of locks I've found that this will fit into and do anything useful without some modification to it. And then there's this pick, and I would love for someone to tell me what the hell this thing is for. It's extremely fat. It's got like sort of this symmetrical thing on it. It claims to be focused, but it's kind of got a scoopy sort of shape. I have no idea what the hell this is for. I've never found anything that this... I found a few locks that this will fit into, but then it's so fat that it just smashes everything up, smashes all the pins up. So I have no idea what that's for. I've got several of these from different manufacturers. I'd love to know what the hell that's for. And then you get 3 tension devices, what I presume are tension devices. These are the correct ones from this set. I've managed to keep them together for the day that I've been playing with this particular instance. So you get one of these Z-shaped things. These are actually nice when they fit and when they don't get in the way. Particularly the wider one does a really nice job of tension. It goes all the way in and stays out of the way. It does not catch too badly on the edge of the shell, so that's kind of nice. These are also nice. I use these in regular locks too, non-dimple locks. I may actually trim one of these down. You can sometimes use them for top of the keyway, but they're generally useful, and there's a little bit of flex in the bar, so you get some good feedback. Of the Z-type ones that I've had, these are actually pretty nice. They don't have super sharp edges on them, and it looks like they've bothered to chrome plate them. And then there's this thing, and to be honest, I don't know what this is for. I mean, if you think about putting it in a lock, okay, you're going to end up with this sort of arrangement, which, I mean, when you start coming in with your pick, you're going to be it's kind of going to be in the way, I think. I've not really found it to be terribly useful for that. What it is useful for, though, is something completely different. A disc detainer lock. It's pretty nice for going in and zeroing the discs out. This one's a little funny, but for zeroing the discs. So I found it to be useful for that. And that's about it. And maybe a little spatula or something if you need it in the kitchen. That's the set. Of the Dimple lock sets on the market, this is a decent one. I bought it primarily because I'm sick of trying to make these little blades on my grinder, and I don't remember how much this is, but it's not too expensive, and I wanted to have another little handle, so I'm too lazy to make Bill's quick picks, and these are easily modified to whatever I would like, and I think I'm going to make most of them look very much like this one, because this works really well for me. So if you need a Dimple pick set, this is a nice one to have. I think it's better quality than the ones that look like this, although these are probably a better value, but I've broken a lot of these. The one thing I will say, this does have Southord stamped on the handle. There is a set that looks remarkably identical that's available from some of the Chinese manufacturers, which you could argue is maybe a copy of the Southord set, or is identical to the Southord set. I suspect the latter, and so if that is the case, you know, Southord may do some finishing on them, or they certainly engrave their logo, but the you know, the overall build quality and everything of this sort of does smack of Asian economy, and so you may be able to get it more cheaply from one of the Chinese suppliers. But I like to at least support an American company, so maybe they'll get a few dollars from it. I think if Southord were to design this themselves and make it in the US, you might end up with a better product. Anyhow, so that's the Southord PXD, Papa X-Ray Delta 15 Dimple pick set, and my take on it. As you can tell, I have bought this, and I may buy another one. So use your judgment, have fun, and please keep it legal. Cheers.